Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Gary here from RV Living Life. Today we're going to be talking about Starlink from the very first time we turned it on to using it today 4 years later, and all of the changes throughout. And we're going to start right at the beginning and talk about how easy it was to hook up, how fast it was, and it was an open area the very first time we hooked it up, to moving to an obstructed area. How was that? How we made it work, to moving to an even more obstructed area, and then now traveling down the road with full mobile. So let's get into it. We basically just took it out of the box and we tied it up to the ladder up there. You know, the base. We just hooked it on with some bungee cords. Like, you run a cord from there to the router, and then from the router to the wall to plug it into 110. And we turned it on and it immediately flattened out. And then about 10 or 15 minutes later, it suddenly rotated around, changed its angle, and now it's pointed that way. And we're getting great speeds. 55 ping, which is still pretty good, a download speed of 175, which is incredible, and an upload speed of 8. So that was our first experience, and we loved it. We were very impressed. We were in an open area. It worked really well. And now we're moving down the road, and we're at our first place with an obstructed view. Let's see how that goes. Now we're at Arrowhead Provincial Park, and I'm parked out here. I've kept my coach back near the road, and you can see our setup up there. Since Bronte, I've got the flagpole buddy on there, which I really do like, and I've got the Starlink on the pole now, along with a cell phone booster, WeBoost. So Starlink is set up there, but you can see we do have trees all around. You know, I put my phone up on top on the Starlink itself to show you where it's actually looking, and I'll show you the top view, but we've been getting pretty good connection speeds. We have a lot of issues with every 24 seconds we're at now. There's an interrupted signal. I believe before it was, when we first got here, it was like once every minute. We are in a fairly treed area. You know, there's wide open sky above me, but where the Starlink is pointing at, it's right through those trees to the north. I'm gonna take this inside and I'll show you some of the data we figured out. And here we go. This is the Starlink app. You can see I'm obstructed. Every 21 seconds, or expect an interruption. Now, that's not necessarily true, because when you look at the statistics and you look at outages, it takes a moment to load here, but you can see 444, there was a couple of spots there, 3 seconds and 10 seconds I was offline. Then I was online for 9 minutes and 7 minutes and 3 minutes and a minute and then 8 minutes. So when it says it's obstructed every 21 seconds, that's not necessarily how frequently you're going to have an issue. Visibility. So after you've sat for a while, it can take up to 12 hours or so for it to generate a good graph here of how well you're doing on connectivity. But this is interesting. You can see at the point of the sky where it is pointing, we really have found a little pocket between the trees where we're getting a pretty decent signal. Notice how open the sky is, and we're still getting an interruption every 21 seconds. Things have definitely improved since then. Maybe we'll try one more speed test. Here we go, see what we get this time. Not too bad. I'll probably throw in a couple of the speed tests that I've got that are much higher. Notice in the blue bar there that it does say that we are Starlink RV limited, which means that we are being deprioritized and not getting a full signal. But it is still working good, we're just not getting the full speed. Another speed test. Now notice in this one, it's showing a higher speed and there's no blue bar, so we're not being deprioritized at this moment. Oh, look at that one. Now that's pretty good. Anyway, that's all that works. And the technology is fantastic. I just love it. Now we're moving to another site further north with lots of trees, but still a tiny opening in the sky above us. You can see that there's trees all around us. The view that we're looking there is the north, which is where the Starlink likes to point. And there is just a lot of trees. You can also see, looking straight up, that's the side of the rig there. We have an opening above us. The Starlink likes to look to the north more than straight up. And there are all the trees on the mountain behind us. Very heavily treed area. So I set up the dishy and I plugged it in. And you can see it's just spinning round and round, back and forth. I've never seen it do this before for this period of time. I think because I'm beside a mountain and under so many trees, maybe it's having a hard time getting a GPS signal to find its location. But it just spun around quite a bit, so I'm going to fast forward here a bit until it stops. So after it found a position to stop, I figured good. Normally takes about 10-15 minutes. It'll find an opening in the sky there through the trees. It'll point at it and we'll be good. So I went back down inside the RV and I tried over and over and over again to get Starlink to go, and I had nothing. So about 2 hours later or so, I went up on the roof and I looked and it was still in a flat position. So it is not finding anything, and I gave up and I went to bed. Eventually, Starlink aimed itself through the best spot in the opening to true north to start mapping the sky. Now, the position it's in now, it would not do that the entire night. I went to bed, and about 6 in the morning, all of a sudden my phone started snapping and popping, and my iPad, everything. All of a sudden I'm getting all my emails and texts that I couldn't get here at all. So it took about 10 hours before it started to actually get data. And then it started working, which was great. Okay, let's look at Starlink. So you can see in the red in the middle, it says we're obstructed and expect an interruption every 25 seconds. So you can see we just switched to obstructed there. And these are generally, somewhere between 5 and 30 seconds. That one is relatively short. We're back online. Let's do a speed test while we're here. And you can see the speed when we're connected is phenomenal. So that's really good. Our download speed is 164 and our upload speed is 12 with a 0.54 latency. So that's pretty good. Let's look at our statistics. You can see in the top there under uptime, you can see that graph that shows the red, and that shows the time that we're offline. And you can see in the small print it says obstructed 1 hour and 7 minutes. So that's 67 minutes. So, had no signal received 27 seconds and what have you. So 68 minutes roughly. And that's in a 12-hour period. There's 720 minutes in 12 hours. So 68 minutes is less than 10% of the time, which is not bad. It's tolerable. Now we can see our outages. If we go down the left side, you can see it's pretty much an outage every minute. Sometimes a couple times a minute. And sometimes you go a few minutes without one. Let's just do one more speed test. Well, that one's not quite as high as the other one, but still very good. It's just a matter of finding that little opening in the trees and getting the dish in just the right spot. Okay, on to the next test, and this time we're going to test it flat or tilted and see how much of a difference it makes. Tilt, you can go flat. And save that. And now the dish is flat. Today you're looking at a test that we did between running the Starlink flat or tilted. Tilted is a new option that I noticed in the app a little while ago, and I've been experimenting with it, and I just wanted to see if it really makes a difference when you tilt it or run it flat. So what we're looking at here is a screen I made, trying to get as much data into it as possible. You can see the left half of the screen is for when the Starlink is tilted, and the right half of the screen is for when the Starlink is flat. And also on the left side of the screen, you can see at the bottom that the Starlink is tilted, and you can see the rotation of the sky that it's looking at as it goes around. And on the right hand side in the bottom, you can see the rotation with the Starlink that's flat. But what I'm doing here anyway is I'm running 18 tests on each one. And what I did was I averaged out all the tests to see what I actually came up with for the numbers. And the tilted side got an average of 105 megabits down. And then on the flat version, it came out with 100 megabits down. It didn't make a lot of difference. And now I'm going to show you full Mobile Starlink, which means you can get full Starlink while you're driving. Okay, so there it is in the final position. I've got it magnetically stuck to the roof. And the cord comes back, goes right into this box, and in that box there's probably 25, 30 feet of cable, maybe longer, maybe 40 feet of cable in case I have to move it around on the roof or to a different spot. Okay, so let's take it for a ride. Everything's installed, ready to go, so let's drive. This first test, I'm taking it from a storage yard out to the Provincial Park, 267 megabits. I gotta say I was quite impressed with that. Unfortunately, the sound in all these clips is really bad with road noise, so I have to do a talk over, but my voice was pretty excited when I was recording these clips. But anyway, you can see each clip is pretty consistent. It's about, 130 to 300, wandering in that range depending on where we're going. We are driving down the road. We're going about 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. It's a windy country road, and then we are going into closer areas of more populated areas. One thing I noticed immediately when I took off is when I was stationary in the storage yard, I would get speeds of around 80 to 160, and quite a bit lower, quite often only 40 to 80. It consistently wasn't that great. And then once I pulled out of the storage yard and started going down the road, the speeds are just incredible. It seems there's no restriction. Another thing I've noticed too is I did a video earlier about tilted or flat and what's the difference. And I couldn't really detect any difference no matter which way the dish was pointed. And I'm finding that now too. It doesn't matter which way it's pointed, I guess in motion too, but if I'm in a campground and I'm pointed south and the dish is pointed south, it doesn't matter. I've got up on the roof and turned the dish around to have it facing the other way. It made no difference in the speed. It doesn't really seem to matter which way the dish is pointed now. And the way it's mounted on the roof, it is slightly lower in the front than the back, which, keeps gusts of wind from going under it, I guess. But I seem to find it really working well, no matter which way you're facing. Okay, just a few more comments. Back in the beginning of the video, I was using a cellular booster, WeBoost. I don't use that anymore. I use Cellular Over Wi-Fi, and it works great through Starlink, like really well. When we were out in New Brunswick this summer, we went on the Plaster Rock Highway where you have no cell service for about 3 hours. And it worked perfectly for us. Starlink in motion with cell phone over Wi-Fi worked perfect. And other than that, I think I mentioned pretty much everything. This is a compilation of several videos I did in the past. If you notice as we go along, there'll be links for each video if you want to go research each individual topic. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I'd like to say that in the beginning, When I used to get 175 down with Starlink, I used to think that was fantastic. Now I find it average. I get speeds of 300 to 350 down on a very regular basis. Even though we're RV limited, it works great. And in motion is not limited at all. It's always really good when you're in motion. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave a few comments. And if you use Starlink, let me know what you think about how it's progressed over the last 4 years. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye now.